Greetings, beautiful people. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. It is your girl, Creatrix here. I hope that this video is finding you well. So today, as usual, I have a wonderful and interesting video for y'all. So today we're going to talk about the gift paradox, all right? And by gifts, I mean our spiritual gifts, our abilities, our gifts that we consider out of this world, right? Supernatural, only because these gifts have not been normalized. Okay, there is a veil, an illusion, right, that says that mankind operates this way, and operating outside of that is diagnosable, right? Pretty much, right? If you think that you can talk to people through your mind, that's not called telepathy. It's diagnosed with some type of mental health issue, right? If you can talk to other beings, other spirits, other entities, extraterrestrials in your mind, I don't know, there's a name for that, right? In the DSM fire. If you can speak to nature and animals, that's also psychosis or whatever the case is. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a doctor, but someone who's grown up in this society, in Western society in particular, we have just now begin really acknowledging the depth to which mankind can extend its magic, right? For a very long time, I mean, it was always there, right? It never went anywhere, but we had to hide, right? Or we had to speak differently. We couldn't be open about what it is that we were perceiving, experiencing, our abilities, right? We couldn't talk about it. Doing magic itself is very taboo. Doing spell work is very taboo, right? Yet religion is not, when religion is just one big spell, right? So people pick and choose which magic is acceptable and which is not. And so our gifts, a lot of us, we have untapped gifts, right? Like, for example, all of you have the capacity and capability to sit here and do what I'm doing, to channel from all different which way, right? To speak to beings, to speak to different entities, extraterrestrials, all of that stuff, right? But a lot of us just don't trust ourselves enough. There's so many different reasons as to why our gifts go untapped. Some of us just flat out don't believe that people can do that. Go sit down. Some of us just don't believe that we have the capacity as humans to do certain things, due to science, or just because the fact nobody talks about it. Or it could just be a matter of, not wanting to practice or not wanting to open yourself up to be able to tap into those things, right? And so I just want to speak about first, before we get into the gifts aspect, the gift paradox, I just want to talk about how important it is to intentionally strive to accept our gifts, to remember our gifts, right? Because that's essentially what's happening. That's a part of remembering our soul. That's a part of the evolution, the growth process, which is all of our purpose as to why we came to the earth realm, right? Is to remember who we are, and in the process of remembering, in the process of growth and evolution, we become better, we become bigger, right? That's why the earth realm is constantly going through cycles, right? As we, the players in this game, level up and get better, the earth realm also levels up and gets better. Yet through the process of getting better, the challenges have to increase as well, right? Just like when you're in the gym and you're lifting weights, if you keep lifting the same size weights, then your muscles aren't going to develop any further. Progress calls for challenge. Greater progress calls for greater challenge, right? So the earth realm, the next time the earth realm is in the shadow period, it's probably going to be worse than it is now. And I know you're probably thinking like, oh, crap, like that's crazy, right? But the thing is that we as souls also have evolved to meet whatever challenges come our way, whatever obstacles come our way. Our souls have enough experience to meet the earth realm at that level if we do decide to return back to the earth realm, right? So the cyclical nature of the earth realm begets a higher level of consciousness each and every round of this game, okay, if that makes any sense. So developing our gifts is a very foundational aspect of this game. And like I said, it's not so much that we are, acquiring new gifts through our own, special learning capabilities. No, it's literally just we are remembering who we are. There's no book that we need to study. There's no nothing. You can watch YouTube videos, you can read books, especially if you have interest to do so on certain gifts that you've heard of and stuff. Like, for example, I remember when I had my little phase when I was into astral projection, and I would try all of these different techniques, and some of them would work for a period of time. Like, I remember I had this really vivid dream this one time. I did like some astral projection technique, and it was a pretty cool dream. However, I didn't get to astral project the way that I knew I could, right? And I know that I can astral project, but I don't, like, I have vivid dreams, but the way that I know I can astral project, I don't, right? I don't do that yet. And I know that's for a reason. And sometimes through the course of remembering, like through our journey of remembering our gifts, it also means being patient, right? So when I wanted to learn how to astral travel, maybe it wasn't time for me to astral travel. It could be for my protection. It could be, so many different things. So our gifts unfold throughout our journey intentionally to be used at certain periods during our journey, right? You're not just going to tap into all of your gifts all at once, all willy-nilly. That's not the way that it works. Usually what happens is that we're spoon-fed a little bit of our gift, right? There's levels to the gift. Like, let's say, for example, you're clairvoyant. You're going to, when you're first stepping into the gift, right, you're going to remember how to do it a little bit, right? Let's call that level 1, right? And as you go through time and you keep practicing and stuff, you remember how to go to level 2, level 3, level 4, so on and so forth, right? So just because you've unlocked a gift initially doesn't mean that you can't unlock different levels of it, right? And that it can't expand further, right? Because our gifts are also growing with us. They can be more intense to be more useful to us. And we become more powerful, right? And also as we become balanced enough to hold space for those gifts, right? Like, for example, if I wanted to astral travel at that time in the past, yet I had not been able to deal with the fear of experiencing entities who, might not look lovely all the time, okay? Maybe it would have really thrown me into like real psychosis or really affected me in a very negative way to which I would have had to heal from. But now the way that I am now, in my heart of hearts, I'm really not afraid of any entity. In fact, I know that all entities outside of the human experience are here to show us unconditional love. Like, for example, there's no such thing as demons. I've mentioned this before. There's no such thing as demons, and there's no such thing as angels. And in fact, some of the entities that we consider either demons or angels are the same entity, yet different personalities of the same entity, if that makes sense, right? Like Archangel Michael could, when the perceiver of his works, when the perceivers of his positivity, experience him, they call him Archangel Michael. But when Archangel Michael wants you to experience the level of him that might not be so pleasant to you, because you might not understand the unconditional love that he's showing you by putting you through certain situations to evoke growth from you, you might call him Lucifer, right? Or you might call him, whatever demonic. Honestly, I feel like Archangel Michael and Lucifer are not, I know that Archangel Michael and Lucifer are the same entity, okay? That's why Lucifer is not the same as the devil. Lucifer is a specific entity. Archangel Michael is a specific entity, right? But Lucifer and Archangel Michael are the ooh, wow. I feel like there's a magnet in between my hands right now. That's crazy. They are polar opposites. Archangel Michael and Lucifer are polar opposites of the exact same deity, of the exact same entity. Wow, that's crazy. I feel like my hands are repelling each other. That's crazy. I feel like it's a positive force and a negative force, and they're repelling each other right now. That's crazy. Confirmation. Yeah. So, anyways, that's beside the point, right? The point that I'm making is that gifts are extremely important in our journey to constantly develop. Okay, and just because you can't tap into a gift at this very moment when you want to, doesn't mean that you don't have the gift or that level of the gift is not available to you, right? Like when I wanted to astral project, maybe I wasn't ready to see what was on the other side. It could have really freaked me out, right? Because some of the dreams that I had, because I have like astral projected for real, and it wasn't just a lucid dream. I have, and I ended up flipping on my bed because I was so spooked at what I saw. And also, what also comes to mind is telepathy, right? Telepathy, and also not clairvoyance, but clairsentience, which is the ability to feel, right? Your feelings communicate with you, and you can feel other people, and those emotions and feelings communicate with you as well. And it's kind of similar to telepathy, right? Because you can read people's thoughts through emotion, through the emotions, if that makes sense, right? Like, let's say you're near somebody and this person is feeling like they think you're hot, right? You could feel like you think they're hot. Like you could experience that, but really it's this person thinking that you are hot or they got the hots for you or something, right? But to you it feels like the emotion is happening within you. But just imagine you having a certain level of that gift to where you can really pick up on people's thoughts and feelings towards you. And you begin to realize that, like, pretty much everybody around you is envious of you, right? And you're constantly feeling like people are wanting to attack you, that people aren't genuine, that people are envious of you, people that you really have love for and that you call family or friends, or people within proximity to you. It can really mess you up if you're not ready for that level of that gift, right? So that's why your guides are actually helping to control, to open you up to certain levels of yourself, depending on different level of gifts that you possess, depending on what stage you're on your journey, right? The stronger you get, the more you're able to the more you're able to handle, the more open you will be to your gifts, if that makes sense, right? Because your guides never want to expose you to something that can throw you off your healing journey, because remember, the goal is to continue to evolve, decrease the trauma, and increase the healing and the peace, the prosperity, the abundance, right? Like, there's already so much trauma going around. They don't want to make it worse. So if you have the gift of telepathy, or even clairsentience, or any of the gifts, clairaudience, to where maybe you can even hear people's thoughts, right? They don't want you to hear and see or feel something that will be overwhelming to you, that will throw you off your path, right? Because in a past life, that has happened to me before. I was told that in a past life of mine, I buried my gifts deep down, to where I didn't even want to touch them, because I felt like they were making me different than other people, that they were causing people to look at me differently and other me and outcast me, right? And at that time, I was not ready to be in the energy of being okay with being alone. It scared me. Nobody wants to be exiled. Nobody wants to be talked about behind their back. Nobody wants to feel like other or unpopular or unwanted or hated, right? So what I did was I buried my gifts deep inside of me, and I didn't want anything to do with them again, right? But really, our gifts they're called gifts because they're supposed to help us on this realm. They're supposed to propel us in the correct direction, into the direction of anywhere we want, anything we want to manifest. We use our gifts, right? We rely on our gifts, right? Too many people nowadays rely on, oh, I need to work a job. Oh, I need to, do this and do that. All the conventional, robotic, BS that we're taught that we need to do. I need to get an education, get a bachelor degree, get married, white picket fence, whatever they call the American dream. That's how I become successful. Well, I'm here to tell you that your gifts can shape your path. Okay, when you start to develop and tap into your gifts, you will begin to see that the magic of really relying on your gifts will make you independent. It will make you sovereign. Okay, you will be able to do anything that you want using your gifts, and your path can look as different as you want it to be using your own gifts, right? Like, imagine if you could hear what people's thoughts are, and if better yet, imagine if you could communicate so clearly with your guides that you could be on autopilot and they can just tell you where to go, how to go, who to go, all of that. And you don't have to worry about anything except expressing yourself and doing what you want to do, having fun, being a child. Again, your guides have a crazy perspective that you can't tap into because you are in this avatar, right? Playing the game. But they can tap into a world of different perspectives. They can see what other people are doing in the game. They can, I don't want to say spy, but they can observe how people are showing up in your energy, right? Not only that, they can look into the future. They can look into the past. They're like the queen on the chessboard. The queen can make any kind of move on the chessboard, right? These are your queens. Your spirit guides are like your queen on the chessboard. So your communication with your spirit guides has to be A1, right? And just imagine, for me, I think that's one of the best gifts. That is the best gift, all right? Is to be able to speak to your spirit guides and then be able to guide you on this realm so that you can free up your mind, body, spirit to be able to do what you want to do, right? So that's what our gifts here are for, is to be able to use them to our advantage to accomplish our goals, whatever that is, right? And some people do use their gifts for not so good things as well, but that's another story for another day. Okay, so now let's get into the gift paradox. All right, this is how you're going to tap into your gift, and it is such a paradox. You're gonna be like, because it doesn't make sense when you initially hear what I'm about to say. Okay, the less you force or look for your gift, the more you'll be able to tap into it. The less that you force a connection with your gift, or that you try to tap into it, or the less that you want to use it, the more the gift will open up to you. Okay, am I saying to try to avoid your gifts at all costs? No. What I'm saying is that, for example, you might be somebody who wants to, let's say, do something naughty, or robbing a bank just came to mind for some reason. Okay, and you want to develop the gift of, let's say, mind control, so that they just open up the bank, what is it called, the vault, for you, and just let you go in and you can just like collect the money, all right? Or maybe that's old school, like maybe now the teller can just give you all the money, right? Like, I think I watched too many movies. But yeah, maybe you want to control minds so that you can, you can get money, power. I don't know why this is coming to mind, but pussy just came to mind. Somebody's thinking about using mind control to be able to get up in between, all right? So yeah, your gifts are not going to develop if that is your intention with them. It's just not going to happen. Because, like I said, your guides are in control of how open you will be to your gifts, or how much you can tap into your gifts. Okay, and this is on purpose in the spiritual realm. That's what our guides do. They're actually in control of a lot, and we'll get into that in another video. But our guides, one of the other things our guides are in control of is how much we can tap into our gifts. They can completely shut down a gift for us. They can completely open it wide open for us at different times. Okay, so when we do things, when we intend to use our gifts for things that divert us from our path, or can get us in trouble, or can take us out the game completely, you know what I'm saying? then they will block that gift. Okay, they can also block manifestations as well, which is kind of like blocking your gift. But yeah, like I said, that's another video for another day. When you want to tap into your gift, the best thing for you to do is be your authentic self. All right, just sit there and, well, not even sit there, but you can go about your day, interact with people, but really be intentional about what you're feeling, sensing with your hearing, your emotions, the energies that the thoughts that are coming into your head. Okay, when people speak to you, what do you really hear right underneath the tone, right? These are all pathways to remembering different gifts. What do you see in nature, in the trees? Can you see faces? Can you see people? What are those things saying to you? What are those things communicating to you? What about when you hear a bird, right? Tweet or crow, caw, or what about even the river running, right? When you hear water, what do you feel in your spirit? What are the deep feelings that resonate with you? What does it feel like something is trying to communicate with you? Okay, because these are all different ways that the universe communicates with us. Like when you see signs and buildings, and when you just look out into the world, like what is being communicated with you? All those things are real. All those things are real, even when we visualize. Okay, like I can tell the difference between when I visualize something, like when I make up something as a visual, versus I don't even have those anymore. Like I can't even remember the last time like I made up a vision. I don't make up visions anymore. Every vision, or whenever I use my imagination, that's always something being communicated to me. It's never random or a coincidence or anything like that. It's always communication that ends up manifesting into my life. Like let's say it's let's say if it's a vision of my past life, right? I'll end up hearing about it in a reading or something, right? And I'm like, oh, the reader's talking about me. Or, I'll end up having an actual vision or a dream that actually manifests in the physical realm in the future as well. So part of it, half of it, is basically trusting yourself. That's mostly what it is being able to say, hey, like what I'm feeling, experiencing, sensing is actually really happening. It's not just me making up stuff, because a lot of the times we gaslight ourselves into not believing what we're experiencing. We have really deep instincts, but when we cut ourselves off from those instincts by shushing them away, by not listening to them, even as small as feeling like somebody's lying to you, or somebody's cheating, or doesn't have good intention with you, when we ignore those things, the universe is going to make sure that those things bite us in the ass, because the universe is trying to wake us up to those things for sure. And eventually it's all going to work itself out, because eventually you're going to realize to trust yourself, and eventually you're going to learn the lesson to not wait for somebody to show their ass. You're going to learn, I need to listen to myself the first time, and then hopefully that allows you to start listening to everything you're experiencing, not just that. If you feel like you can, like for example, if you receive downloads from the universe and the universe is telling you that you can fly, right? And you're like, what? No way. I made that up. That's a thought I just had in my mind. There's no way people can fly. That's not a thing, right? But the universe already sent you a message saying that you can fly. You have flown in a past lifetime, and you can fly again this lifetime. But since you haven't seen anybody do it, then you are going to question that about you, right? You're gonna be like, there's no way I felt that or experienced that or heard that, right? There's no way, because people can't do that, right? That is your own limitations stopping you from reaching your highest and best self. Okay, if you've never seen anybody fly yet, be the first one. Be the first one. But all I'm saying is just we have to start believing ourselves and stop gaslighting ourselves. Like that is where our gifts, we're having a roadblock with our gifts, is actually believing ourselves, right? Our instincts. Animals are so pure and authentic that they listen to their instincts the first time. They don't have time to question or use logic. Same thing with children. Children just are, right? They just be, they just act, right? They're not ashamed of who they are. They're not ashamed of what they are putting out there, right? They're just existing. And that's why as children, our gifts are so strong. And then once we become adults and we have all these societal standards that we have to live up to, and things become taboo, there's shame, there's guilt, our conscious mind, feeling unsafe shuts down those parts of us. And so we have to relearn our gifts, right? And this is the paradox. This is the gift paradox, because the less we overthink about it, the less we try to practice it and just embody it, right? Just embody it, just believe that it's happening. That's all it takes, right? And the gifts will become more intense as your guides see fit. So realizing that your gifts are there, they're usually all you have to do is realize, just change your perspective on it and say, okay, I believe myself. Because usually when our gifts are present, they will knock. They will tell us, they will, constantly try to get our attention by giving us that feeling, that signal, that communication, right? That is the gift itself. It won't stop. It'll keep going until you realize it's there. And all it takes is a perspective shift to say, wow, this is real. This is my gift, right? And then once you can do that level, once you can realize that it's there and even begin to use it to your advantage, that's when your gifts can start increasing and developing. That's when your spirit guides realize or know when you're ready to receive more out of your gifts, when they can turn up the dial, turn up the power. All right. So that initial stage of being like a child and pretending that all of the no's, all of the that can't be's, all of the that's impossible, that doesn't make sense, that's not logical, all of that you've experienced, right? Be a child again and pretend that you've never heard that in your entire life. Pretend that you don't know what that is. You don't know what that's not possible is. You don't know what that can't be is. And switch it to everything and anything is possible. And not only is it possible and plausible, it is tangible, it's practical, and it's happening. I am experiencing what I think I'm experiencing. I am experiencing. And this goes for people who have been diagnosed with mental health issues. Once again, I am not a doctor, right? However, I will say that before you run to a therapist, right? Before you run to somebody, I mean, therapy is fine. What I mean is, before you run to a psychiatrist to get diagnosed, before you run to an MD or a PhD to say, what's wrong with me? Ask yourself, could this be right with me? Could I really be experiencing this? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. Okay, if you have different voices in your head and they've grown to be negative or tell you to do things that are not good, right? That will get you in trouble. Confront those voices, okay? It's not something that you should take medication to suppress yourself from, right? If you're hallucinating, right, and you see spirits and entities that other people don't see, consider that a gift. First and foremost, consider it a gift, okay? And I know there's people listening to me and they're like, oh my gosh, don't say this. People are really dealing with this and that. I know people are really dealing with gifts. I know this. And the world is full of illusions, and they will have you believing that there's something wrong with you before they admit that you are powerful. So they will force you to swallow something, right? They will force you to swallow medication or suppress your gift because, one, you're not competition to them. You can't use your gift to become powerful, right? And second, they're making money off of you. So I will be bold enough to say I don't know if I'm the first, I'm probably not. Like I knew this really cool professor in undergrad, and she didn't believe in medication. She was a PhD, she's in psychology, and she didn't use medication to help her clients. She actually helped them live with what they were going through and use props and tools to help them manifest a better perspective on what was happening with them. Amazing woman. And so I know I'm not the first to say this, and I know I'm not the last, but I will reiterate it again. before you feel like there's something wrong with you, before you feel like you're experiencing psychosis or anything like that, ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? What am I supposed to learn? Right? And there could be instances where, you do feel paranoid, or you do feel like you're being attacked and all of that stuff. And that in and of itself is a lesson as well. Right? You still don't need anybody else except your spirit guides and the universe to help you, guide you through that situation. And it's the resistance. It's actually the resistance of those gifts. It's the resistance of allowing your spirit guide to help you through the journey, to guide you through the journey, that's causing the reaction, the adverse reaction to the gift. Okay, because if you don't feel safe, right, if your root chakra is not balanced, your guides won't be able to open up your third eye, which is a lot of where our gifts reside. Okay, so because you don't feel safe and all of that, you can't experience the entirety of your gift and how beautiful and positive it could be. But that resistance to your gift is what's causing the adverse reaction. It's what's causing the negative voices in your head. It's what's causing you to act as if you're under psychosis. It's the resistance. And there's all different types of resistance that's happening on this realm. I'm just speaking in particular about resistance to our gifts, right? So the more resistant you are to using your gifts, your guides are going to keep, you know what I'm saying? They're going to keep pounding it, trying to get you to look and see and understand. All right. And so you can do a quantum leap and start facing your gift, facing your so-called hallucinations, and talking to those entities and asking them what they want. Stop being afraid of the warped faces. Maybe you even, I'm picking up that somebody could even stop the warping, stop from seeing the warping. Like their faces, somebody sees entities and spirits with their physical eyes, and the faces of them get warped and they turn quote unquote demonic or scary. That's because you're doing that with your mind, because you're afraid of what you're experiencing. It's not because the entity is presenting itself to you in that fashion, even though they could, but what for you, whoever I'm speaking to, your guides, your entities are trying to come to you in a visible way, but your mind is warping it because you have preconceived notions. You have fear that's holding you back from being able to communicate with them. Like, I wish I was able to physically see my guides. Like, I'm hoping that they open up that gift to me very soon, because being able to physically see them, I feel like it would be a game changer, And I am picking up that for a lot of us who don't have the ability to physically see our guides as as if they would appear right in front of us, it's because we're not ready for that yet. And also, it could be a situation where our environment isn't safe for that yet. Okay, for a lot of us, there are a lot of gifts that are going to open up to us once we're in a safer environment. Okay, because your guides have a strategy, they have a plan. Like I said, they see the people that are around you, and for you right now, it's safer to keep you in an energetic protection, space, an energetically protected space, because you being able to see the entities that are attached to them, you being able, because we talk too much, we yap. As humans, we yap, all right? And because our guides want to keep our gifts on the hush hush, right? It's better that we don't tap into them altogether, because we will yap about it. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm picking up. I know I would yap about it. I would try to help my friends and families, like, oh, you got this attached to you, you got that on you, or so-and-so's trying to speak to you. People will change their course of action once they really believe that you have a gift. So your guides will actually, if your guides have to, they will make you look dumb. They'll make you look like a liar. They'll make you look like you don't know what you're talking about, in order for people to believe that you don't have certain gifts. So they will use whatever strategy they have at hand to save you, to protect you, right? Because sometimes if people know that you have certain gifts, they're going to want to harm you or hurt you, right? So your gifts, your guides are very intricate, complex, very intelligent beings that know how to work this game, and all you have to do is sit back, relax, and allow them to work in your life, right? By being a clear channel, by just being, right? And that's also how you tap into your gifts, right? But anyone at any moment can ask for more communication with their guides. All right, that's where, if you are not sure where to start with your gift, all right, with your gifts, opening up yourself to your gifts, if you have a hard time even just relaxing and being like a child and just living, right? You got too many thoughts in your head and all that, just start with saying, hey guides, I want a connection with you. I want more communication with you. Thank you so much for all that you've done thus far, but I'm ready for more and I want more. Please show me the way. Like that simple statement will open you up, will change the trajectory of your journey for real. Like it is a magical thing to just ask for help from your guides. Simply. You don't have to light a candle or do anything crazy, like just in your mind even. You don't even say it out loud. But whatever you want to do, you want to make it special with candles, you want to get creative with your rituals and all of that, using different elements, that's fine with me. You want to create an altar with representations of your guides and what you feel connected to, nature, all that, that's completely fine as well. But if you don't want to do that, all you can do is verbally declare that you want a strong line of communication with your guides, and they're on it, right? They just need our permission. They need us to be open, right? So yeah, that's the beauty of the gift paradox, is that we don't have to try too hard. All right, it's just going to come to us. They're already there. We just have to realize that they are there and not try to force it or use our gifts to do anything stupid with them, because then our gifts will always be limited. You'll always hit a ceiling if you're trying to bypass the healing journey and use your gifts instead to get to the reward. Your gifts are never going to develop to the point of unlimitedness, right? You're always going to have a ceiling or a cap on your gifts if you don't do your healing journey, if that makes sense, because they go hand in hand. In order to open up to your gifts, you need to be on a healing journey in order to get the rewards, right? To use your gifts to get the rewards, right? You can't get your gifts, you can't do like a little bit of healing, open up some gifts, and then use those gifts to bypass more of the healing. It doesn't work like that. All right, just in case anybody has that thought. All right. So yeah, I love you all so very much. That is the message. I hope it was clear, and I hope it motivated you to really tap into what is already there. Start paying attention, start believing in yourself. Don't question what you're sensing, what you're feeling. All right, follow your thoughts, follow your emotions, follow everything that's happening to your environment, right? Just listen to the communication that's going on, and you will see that the universe is speaking to you in so many different ways. Okay, I love you all so very much. Oh, by the way, I feel this coming on. Someone has a gift of being able to observe others and pick up on patterns. Okay, so if you thought that you were just super logical, no, that's actually a gift for you to be able to observe people and pick up on patterns and like kind of discern who people are just by observing them. Like you can deeply figure out who people are and discern who people are just by observing them, right? Observing what they say, how they talk, their mannerisms. I'm really picking up on mannerisms. All right, mannerisms, very important emphasis on mannerisms, right? So yeah, that's not just you being logical or having experience, that's you actually being very gifted, all right, spiritually, in a spiritual sense. All right, so yeah, that's the end of the video. I love you all so very much. Thank you for joining me. If you feel inclined, please follow me on my other social media pages, especially TikTok, because I do post the most on TikTok. And yeah, if you feel inclined to, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. All right, love you all so very much.